Let's see here. Alan in Beaumont, Texas. Hey, Alan, what's on your mind?
Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Good.
I want to make a couple of quick observations. First of all, just to make the point, it's like if anybody doubts that there's unequal justice in this country, speaking to you as a black man, let's say as a black man growing up, I'm as aware of crime as anybody else. And as a black man, you always knew that, let's say, for instance, if you go out and commit a murder, if you committed a murder and the person was white, you knew that you were pretty much guaranteed to either get a long sentence or a life sentence as opposed to, say, killing another black man.
Right, or a death sentence, yeah.
So if anybody doubts that there's unequal justice, even when it comes to police, and I'm not saying that these people shouldn't have been charged, but the two black cops in New Orleans that, inadvertently killed, the suspect was white. He had his son in the car with him, and they were shooting at him, but they ended up killing his son. Within 72 hours, those police were arrested.
When was this?
I think it happened sometime last year, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it definitely happened.
Yeah, no, I remember the event. I don't remember the details, and I just wanted to make sure it wasn't some new thing that,
So as far as justice is concerned, it's always been the color of the victim and the color of the perpetrator, as far as who's more likely to get justice in those situations.
Right.
Now, the other point I wanted to make was this. Based upon the events of last week and the last few years, everybody's wondering, what's the answer? To me, our biggest problem in America, and Lord knows we have many, but our biggest problem is an allegiance problem. And I'm not even going to say race because I know there's no such thing as racist, but people have allegiance to their color first, or they have allegiance to their religion first, or they have allegiance to their socioeconomic status first. If everyone would be more committed, if their first obligation in their life was to doing right, then that would go a long ways towards eliminating a lot of the problems that we have.
You make a really brilliant point, Alan, and that is that it is human nature to kind of circle the wagons on behalf of your own. And this comes out of our need to protect family. I mean, I'm sure it's wired into our DNA. And then family expands to community, expands to clan, expands historically in other societies to tribe, but in our society to community, to state, to nation. And so if we could replace not replace, but if we could supersede, if we could make the larger commitment a commitment to the overall society. What's good for all of us as Americans? And start talking and have a serious conversation about, how do we make sure that everybody, regardless of color or race, regardless of race or socioeconomic status or regionality or whatever, has access to health care, has policing that is not unreasonable, has some relative certainty, safety in terms of housing and employment and reasonable employment, then yeah, we take a first step. Alan, thanks for the call. Good to hear from you.
To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy-dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.